Hello, everybody. Welcome back to HVAC Shop Talk. I'm Zach Ciota. I'm your lovable host. And I'm just so happy to be here, guys, and just happy to see you guys. I have my comments that I had written down right here that I can answer and just comment on. Some of them are kind of wild and crazy, of course, but I hope you guys are out there having a good time tonight. And let's see who we have here. Brandon Brenny says, I need more explosions in that intro. Brandon, if I put another explosion in the intro, YouTube will classify it as a firearm and take away my monetization. So I can't do that. Got to keep it to 2 explosions or less. That's it. Frylock is getting his haircut Peaky Blinder style. I know what that means. I saw one clip from Peaky Blinders, and it looks like it's some sort of British boardwalk empire or something like that. That's probably correct. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Frylock can tell me. He probably watches. He binge watches this sort of thing probably in between when he's letting the recovery machine run on his 500-ton chillers. It takes like all day long. You got to do something, right? Nathaniel Crum says, I am not here right now. It's very existential. Is anyone ever really here? You know, what is time? What is time itself? You know, none of those questions will be answered here today because I don't know the answer. I don't even speculate. I just leave it to Jesus. That's what I do. There you go. Leave it to Jesus. He'll take care of it. Just stick with him. Dustin says, Frylock, hope that haircut's looking nice. I hope it is. Better be nice, man. Better be nice. Let's see, who else do we have here? I think that's everybody. Everything HVACR. Thought that was funny. I appreciate that. I thank you for that. So while Bimco's getting his hair cut by a British guy who's saying the F word a lot and shooting each other, which is what I assume is happening, Peaky Blinder style, I did have some comments here that I printed out like an old person, and I'm going to read those because they were kind of long. I didn't want to put them on the screen because there's a lot of words, and either we make 5 slides worth of screen stuff or I read them off, or the words are so tiny on the screen that no one can read them, and I definitely can't read them. I definitely can't. Before we get to that, we have breaking news. Brandon Brenny says, I installed a Durastar furnace and AC for my cousin yesterday. Oil to gas with no AC. I know what Durastar is. I've never even heard of Durastar. Is that a real thing? Is that Ameristar's even less popular brother? Durastar? It sounds like it's less popular. Durastar. Dur. I don't know. Sounds pretty bad to me. Sounds like it's already broken down probably. Brandy should head back over there. Here we go. So we have a comment from OC Refrigeration, which is my buddy Phil. We've been on YouTube together since the very beginning. I do believe Phil's been here the whole time. He's a very educated guy. And let's see what he has to say here. It says, good tip and refresher. This is when I was telling people to open up the grills whenever you're starting a unit up. Good tip and refresher. Sometimes it's easy to forget to check if all the grills are open before starting up a condensing unit after repair, or at least 1 8-inch grill per ton of unit. 5 big grills open on a 5-ton unit is bad. And this is funny to me because A long time ago, everybody thinks like home performance is like a new thing, but it's not really. I mean, I didn't really think of it back in the day, but like around the year 2000, 1999, 1998, somewhere in there, it was a long time ago. There was a program by the local energy company, and at that time, I think it was CP&L, Carolina Power and Light, which became Progress Energy, which became Duke Energy, which is going to become five other things probably. They probably already have. I don't know. I don't keep up with it. But they were, making people into, let me quote here, gold star dealers. You know how it is. You can be a platinum, a gold, a silver, or a wood, or whatever the worst one is typically what we are. Dirt, Formica. You could be a Formica level dealer. So they had this program where if you got your ducts tested, you could qualify to be like an energy efficient czar, Wonder King, or something like that. So they would bring out the duct blaster. And it's got me thinking about the duct blaster stuff. So even way back then, like 20 odd years ago, they were using this thing. And I remember these two guys were just showing up and they were giving us this course on HVAC, treating us like we're morons, basically, because back then we probably were morons. It's hard to remember a state of mind. These guys were like, air is like a fluid. Air's like a fluid, guys. It flows like a fluid. And we're here like, no, this guy doesn't know that we have contractor's licenses, but just let's keep him talking, let's keep him talking for a while. So the air is fluid guy kept talking for a little while. Then he started testing the ductwork. He's like, and he's like, I can tell you right now, this is not going to pass. It was like, wow, already a fail already? That's crazy. We did so good. We even put mastic on this ductwork. We never do that. We put mastic on the seams. We put mastic everywhere there was a hole, maybe even on the takeoffs. Mastic them shut too. Shouldn't be any leakage here. And then he realized that he didn't put any of the covering over some of the registers on the floor. So old hotshot fluid air guy didn't do his job right. So we passed the test. And it's funny just because I thought of that whenever Phil was commenting on this. So the guys down there are commenting in the chat about Durastar, it looks like. Let's see, Durastar, Duquesne and Ameristar had a baby. It was Durastar. That sounds like a really, really bad baby. If you were going to have a baby, you wouldn't want those two parents, It's like, I see Dostar. Like, Dostar. I don't know. I think you have to be a dealer for Durastar or something like that, probably. Excuse me for a moment while I cough here. It's like we're going back in time to the coughing days now. So the next comment is, and I guess it's from a homeowner, Monsieur Ramsey. So if a R22 unit is low on Furrion, that's right, can you top it off with R22B? Well, now this is a very interesting question because you can top off anything with anything else. But the implication is it legal? I guess that's the reference there. So, of course, that's not legal. Everybody knows that. It's kind of a funny comment. It's just funny because I never see comments like this. This is obviously a guy who's just got a house or a rental property or something. It's like, can we put something else and something else? I mean, yeah, sure. You can put anything together you want. Will it work? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But it's going to be very hard to test and charge it. So, of course, you can't do that. That's ridiculous. Next comment here. This is Blue Air. It says, you used old but, I'll substitute the word but, old but equipment back on the house, but you installed a new ductwork, so hence duct leakage test. This is referring to the job I just did where I questioned that we had to do a duct leakage test because not all the ductwork was new. And he's saying because the old equipment's here and you have new ductwork, that's why it is. But to me, that's even the reason why they don't require it, because typically they don't require it when you have older ductwork or any existing ductwork as part of the system. That's really the crux, because every single inspector actually agreed with me except for this one guy. Happened to be the one guy inspecting. That's too bad. What's the luck? Yep. The municipality has to get their piece of the pie. That we agree on, my friend. That we agree on. So the next comment is from Fuzzy Math. Fuzzy Math. And this is like a long one. So let's see. I read it sort of halfway. So let's see how good it actually is. I'm not sure. And then we'll get to y'all's comments here in a second. Y'allins. Fuzzy Math states, we don't have decent trade schools, period, in this country. And it's sad. I don't know about you guys, but I've cried many a night knowing that our trade schools are lacking. I'll turn over my pillow. My wife will turn to me and say, Zach, what's wrong? I'll say, it's the trade schools, man. It's the trade schools. I don't know. I'm sure he's being facetious. I would have I would have benefited greatly, as would many other dropouts. I would drop out of college too. I identify with this guy, or might as well have dropped outs like me. As it stands, I was lucky to have scored a carpenter union apprentice spot, so I guess he's up north. But that was just blind luck. Instead of leaving kids with idle hands in their formidable years, why not teach those who won't be attending university something? Instead, we have them taking some good, useless junior college courses or for profit rip-off trade schools. That's interesting. And a lot of people say there's some bad trade schools and some good trade schools. I don't know how you go about finding a difference. I guess you can research a little bit, and there's probably like, I don't know, like a Yelp for trade schools out there. I don't know. Maybe they can create that. One of you guys create that, become rich or something. We still have union apprentice training, I guess, depending on the state. California, like a lot of states, is full of rip-off trade schools, so I guess it's not up north. But according to Days of Thunder, I think they put California with the North. I believe in that movie, so I think that's right. It seems like getting a license anywhere is easier than learning the trade, and a lot of homeowners just can't ever be sure who's not a ripoff. I went to high school in Maryland. Mine did have an automotive trade partnership with Chevy. I don't remember. Anyways, just wondering because other people may know about wonderful stuff happening somewhere. I don't know what that's saying. This was the 70s when it was going back in time to the 70s now. This was the 70s when a pack of cigarettes was 50 cents, and you hand the kid a $5 and tell him to fill it up and keep the change, and he's thrilled. Hasn't had a tip like that all day. Okay, well, that's all right. Let's see. Let's see what we have here. I'm gonna go to the chat. Well, no, we have one more comment. Let me read my last comment here, then we'll go to the chat, guys. And you chat guys can call in and tell me all about whatever it is you want to tell me about, and that's just fine. Bring some life to this show, man. Bring life to the show. But not yet, though. Just hold on a second. Okay. Last comment. The older HVAC technicians, and this is the young versus old technician video that came out a day or two ago. I don't remember. The older HVAC technicians are not very nice to the new technicians, which creates an employment gap. The older technicians are often unwilling to train the new technicians, and they can be condescending and dismissive. This leaves new technicians feeling unvalued and unsupported, discouraging them from pursuing a career in HVAC. As a result, the industry suffers from a lack of qualified workers, and companies have to hire less experienced employees at higher cost, in my opinion. Let's build our HVAC community and help each other get along. Get along. Okay. So you think you agree with that guy, guys? Do you think that's how it is? The older guys treating the younger guys bad, running them off? Or the younger guys need to get some thicker skin and get in there with the older guys? I mean, it's one of those two options, right? Let's see here. Shannon says he is an older tech. Shannon, I don't know if necessarily you become what the guy's talking about, but when I imagine these rough older techs just cussing at people, Shannon's who I picture. That's exactly right. Let's see here. Let's get some comments here. Don't be a snowflake. Yes, snowflakes. Hey, guys are like, these guys are snowflakes. There's a line between like you got to toughen up and it's actually just like a guy being a real jerk all the time and making you want to switch jobs. But then again, we're men though, so we then fight each other, right? Isn't that what happens? If two guys are opposed in viewpoint and it's getting on one guy's nerves, then you physically fight each other. I think that's the best way to solve it. Is that right? I don't know. I can't remember. Brandon Benny says young people suck. What? Okay. All right. Here, let's do this right here, guys. In the chat, tell me how old, or I guess it's not really appropriate how old. Maybe it's how many years. All right. We'll do how old first. How old do you have to be in the older category? That's the ground rules right here. I'll withhold my opinion. How old is it till you become the older guy? Let's just imagine they've been in HVAC for a while. They didn't start when they were 35 or something. They started when they were younger. So, Shannon Knight says, Zach has blue on. Get it? Oh, it's like the Illuminati. Shannon's the Illuminati. You got the blue on. You must like TDX 20. You must like a refrigerant that contains 50 refrigerants and glides more than a skier down a hill. Okay, let's see here. We got 33 years old, 45 years old, 32. I like this very specific, like the interim ages. I wasn't figuring people would say 30, 35, 40, but you guys are going all in between. Man, I like your name, Shake and Bake. That's cool. All right. The chat says 33, 45, 32, 41, 50. I 30, 20, 25. Oh, sorry. I've 20 been doing it for 4 years. I got you. 35, 35, 55, 35, 33 was good enough for Jesus. 53, 38, 32. Well, there's a wide range there, guys. I guess it really has to do with how old you are personally, but everybody's all over the place. Thank you, Nathaniel, for putting in 1 to bring the average down. Thomas says, you got to admit some of the new younger guys who come in and you're old, you have to train them, make you want to retire early. Man, minimum 15 years. Okay, here, guys. I'm going to put up on the screen. Do I have my call now? I bet the call now is all stuck on something. Let me see if I can fix it. The call now button's broken, guys. Let me see if I can fix it. Because I guarantee. Oh, let me see here. I think I can do it. There. Oh, man. Come on now. Get up there, call now. All right, good. Now, you can call in here, guys, if you want to. Talk to me on the phone about it. We can talk about how old is old, how young is young. I mean, let's mix it up a little bit. Let's talk about this. We can talk about trade schools. I didn't go to trade school. Everything in my life I've done hard. I've done it the wrong way, done it the difficult way. So I could have gone to trade school and I could have had Brian Orr right there telling me. I always like to use Brian as my reference. Brian Orr could have been sitting there telling me how I can, check capacitors without taking the wires off of them and stopping the unit and stuff. And I'm sitting there going, I like stopping the unit. I think it's fun. That's just how I am. I didn't go to trade school. It took me forever to learn, and I only really learned after I started really paying attention, watching YouTube, reading books and stuff. For a while, I was just a loser. Now I'm a loser who knows stuff. But phone lines are open, guys. Utilize those phone lines here. It's not. You can be on a live show. Dozens of people are watching this show. So I know it's very nerve-wracking to call into a show where there's over 10 people watching, but less than 1,000. So I mean, it's like American Idol right here. If not, I'm gonna have to fill in the silences with random conversation. I can start talking about our different bottles we have over here. Hey, later on, maybe one of you guys can win the Appion bottle, but I'm gonna tell you what. Hey, all right, we got a caller here. That's all it took. It's like, good grief, put this guy out of his misery. You're on the line.
And you're paused.
And paused. Perfect. Great timing, Nate.
How you doing?
I'm good. Let's see. Make sure everybody can hear you there. So you're a teacher now, huh?
I guess so. Wow. The guy interviewed me and went on vacation, but he essentially just tried to pitch me the job the whole time. So
wow.
I think he wants me. He actually wanted a service tech. He was actually kind of hurt that my boss didn't send me because he had asked him. Because he wanted somebody who knew the modern things, because they just got a bunch of old contractors who kind of know the old things.
Oh, so okay, all right. What age did you say was old?
I said 33, but I was just saying a number.
Oh, that's right, Jesus. And then you said 1.
Actually, no. My last final answer was E, which is approximately 2.3. It's a irrational number.
We doing E? Are we gonna start doing math now?
Well, you need to. Actually, I have to teach a class on math.
So where does E come into HVAC? Can you tell me that?
E has to do with a lot of things. It's the natural logarithm, and logarithms are how we do a lot of things. And also E has to do with compounding interest, and we like to make money.
Oh, that's true. I do like to make money, and I do remember a long
and you
time
like interest
ago,
because then you just make money on your money.
I charge people interest all the time. I'm actually a bookmaker. And I charge people points, is what we call them, or juice. The juice is running, is what I say.
That's called a bookie, and it's illegal.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't have said it on air, I guess. No, I'm not, in fact, a bookie. That was not true, and I don't have any money riding on any of the Premier League games today. So I'm just going to say that. I'm just going to declare that. That's and I do remember, believe it or not, back when I was in college, the year was 1997. I was in college, and the math teacher, it was math 110, did mention something about natural logs. And I do remember doing some natural logarithmic functions. And it was, I don't remember any of it, to be honest with you.
Math is an amazing and ultimately trippy kind of thing, and everyone should know it. It is the basis of everything.
It is
The
important.
basis
You're right.
of everything we know, everything that's not God, is explained through math.
It's true.
That's what I believe.
And God did come up with math.
And
Really?
he did, yeah, but it's everything that's not him because it's what's it's real, which is the funny thing because real numbers aren't real at all. I've never seen a 1 before in real life.
No, I mean, no. Remember last time we had some very philosophical discussions. And
Yeah,
the
we
ones
can talk
aren't
about
real.
anything.
One is the loneliest number. It's Three Dog Night.
What about the idea that you can be an expert in 5 years? Because I feel like I may be a testament to that. I've been doing this 5 years. Though I'm not an expert, I don't want to be arrogant. But I know enough about what I do that I can do it and see it through well.
So
residentially, I feel residentially fully equipped. If I had the things I needed to get it done, but I know how to get it done.
Okay, so let me ask you some questions. You say, 5 years to be an expert at residential HVAC. What does that mean? Does that mean I fix them, I install them, I make the load calculations? How far does that go?
Well, if you're online like we all are, it really should be that you can, from start to finish, come into a house, either fix it or design a new one from start to finish and install it.
And you do that?
Well, I'd like to. I am certified in manual JS and D, but I'm just a service technician. I fix things and other departments do other things.
So, well, if you get the job as a teacher, it sounds like you're going to, what are you going to teach specifically?
It's like I get certified in like NCCEER, and all the tests are, it's kind of like a NAET, I guess, but it's more of a community college thing, but it's just modules, and I gotta teach them the modules and they gotta pass the modules, and what I do with the rest of the time is play with the amenities they have, hopefully get their hands on equipment and do things. But there is like a syllabus and tests are already done and they're all taken online, and got to make it through the modules.
So is it like learning a NAET course? You get a section to teach, you teach that section, they test, they get finished, you go to section 2.
Have you heard of HVAC 1, 2, 3, and 4 that you would take at a trade school?
Yeah, okay.
That's what it is, that 1, 2, 3, and 4. In September, I may be teaching HVAC 1.
So, okay. So is it all residential?
I don't think so. I think it's just kind of like they're supposed to prep them for the workforce. Not that it does that, but you're supposed to be able to say now you can get a job places. The place that I will be working also, like Bosch, you can take classes to get a job at Bosch on work on their stuff and all the other.
Oh, that's interesting. So specifically Bosch. That's interesting.
Well, because I'm in Craven County, Eastern North Carolina. And there's a big Bosch. There's big Bosch, Moen, Hatteras yachts are all right here.
Wow. If you left right at the beginning of the show, you could be on the show as we ended, probably, if you run really fast.
Me?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're only, like an hour plus something? Other?
Oh, yeah. Well, if I had a car, I don't think my boss would let me take him a work truck.
I mean
but I could be there
GPS,
in an hour and 15 minutes. I'm just guessing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not too far away. We drive up there every now and then. We were up in Jacksonville a couple days ago, so that's not too far away from you.
No, that's actually where our parent company is.
Really? See? Small world, isn't it? Small world.
Yeah. Well, in Eastern North Carolina, it's a small world.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a bunch of the same thing.
It's a big world everywhere else.
It is a big world everywhere else. Okay, let's get into that. So Eastern North Carolina, we're working on heat pumps 99% of the time and stuff like that. Is that what you're going to be teaching? You're going to be teaching gas and you teach all oil and everything?
They have a boiler there, and they were showing me this boiler that someone bought they bought an Amazon return semi container. And there happened to be a boiler on there that someone bought on Amazon and returned. And so whoever bought it gave it to the school. So they have a boiler. But
you can buy boilers on Amazon?
Nobody's going to see a boiler here.
That's crazy. All right. So, yeah, there's not many boilers definitely in residential. There's not a boiler.
There's not a boiler south of the Mason-Dixon line or some line in the United States. I don't know.
There's some guy out there. There's a guy out there's like, I wanted a boiler. I came from up north. I want a boiler. I don't want a heat pump.
Well, actually, do you have this too? Because we have this in our historic areas. They have hot water heat air handlers. So they just have air handlers, straight AC, and a hot water coil.
Yeah, we've done a few of those. Yeah.
We just take them out mostly, but a lot of the old houses run off that. Actually, my house did, but they ran the water heat as a auxiliary heat. So I had a heat pump, but they just left the water coil in to be the auxiliary heat.
Right, and it was being actually heated by an actual water heater, not a boiler.
No, they recently installed a tankless hot water heater, so it didn't
Oh.
quite make sense to me. So I ripped it out.
Yeah, we did a few houses that specifically requested, and they were AC, so it was just a condenser with a hot water coil, and it was just a circulating pump coming off of the water heater. And it was like several of them like that. There were these ICF houses that were, the concrete styrofoam houses that had like very little heat loss and gain. They worked all right. I mean, it just seemed kind of weird having it come off the water heater.
It's kind of geothermal, right?
It's yeah, I guess so. Really, technically.
And do you have a lot of geothermal? Because that's something that we probably have 20% of here. Mostly heat pumps, but I'd say 20% or maybe less.
I think it's probably less than that here.
And a lot of people do geothermal, and it is the most efficient thing you could do if you put up the 100,000 to install it.
It's pretty expensive. Is it that much? I mean, I've never really priced out geothermal.
Nah, I mean there could be for sure, but
big enough.
It's just very expensive up front. The government used to give grants for it and made it reasonable, but once they pulled the money, it's just not reasonable. So why would you install a geothermal?
I don't know. I don't have enough money to buy a geothermal, so I don't entertain that. I asked, what is the cheapest thing? And they showed me a picture of electric furnace, said, what else is there? That's what I say. And then they get the heat pump. And then I say, how many of my sponsors sell these? And then that's where I go. And there's in the chat here, John McMaster says, have Zach ask the guy on the line about the question in the chat. So
what's the chat? I'm not seeing it. I don't look at it.
I'll read it for you. There's a guy asking. We can read this together here because I'm not sure what it is. We're going to find out together too. Trey wrote, what are some symptoms of a scroll compressor that has an issue with the check valve versus a scroll compressor that has an issue with the internal pressure relief valve? Wow, that's pretty interesting. Well, the check valve would only be an issue while it's off cycle. When it stops, it could make a strange noise. I've heard where the refrigerant runs back into the compressor instead of being checked at the discharge.
Wait, so what's the question? It's check valve versus what?
Versus internal relief, like it's bypassing.
Well, I guess it would probably be bypassing before it like the whole time. It would be bypassing under normal pressures rather than bypassing just when it goes kind of high.
Yeah, I mean the one without the check valve, once it starts, I would figure it would run decently.
Yeah, you just have equalized pressures all the time rather than just when it's running.
Yeah, and then you hear it rushing back in there because I've heard some of them because the check valves when the scroll shut off, you hear it go and they're shut off. Goodman does that a lot. I don't know. I think it's just because it's Goodman. No, Goodman has a bad effect on every part that goes inside.
I got a question for the chat then.
All right.
Thermostat's blank. It's not the thermostat. There is 24 volts at the thermostat between R and C. There is also 24 volts between C and ground.
Between C and ground?
Yeah.
Huh. Because C sometimes is grounded. So that's interesting.
Right. So, I mean, that was kind of maybe a softball one. Then I maybe shouldn't add the last thing,
but the screen is blank and it does have power between R and C, and there's 24 volts between C and the ground itself. Well, I'll let them answer it. But that would mean, well, between R and C and ground. What about between R and ground? 24 volts as well.
Well, I guess you wouldn't have anything between R and C. You would have nothing between R and C, but you would have 24 to ground on both of them.
Interesting. Sounds like there's nothing between R and C, but the 24 volts sounds like they're both hot. That's weird, though.
Well, at least if I'm thinking right, maybe I just walked myself into a wall.
No one's answering.
I was thinking common was loose.
They're going to be petrified now because now they're like, I don't know what's going on here.
Well, that's what I was trying to get at. Common was loose, so common wasn't attached, grounded, maybe at the air handler.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I see. I see the commons getting loose, and you get all these weird voltages and stuff. So it's just like having like a neutral loose on a 120 circuit. And all of a sudden, you measure, and it's like 73 volts. What's wrong here? And there's like a neutral loose somewhere along the line.
Yeah,
but that sucks too, because then you don't know where it's at.
No. No, I was just trying to give a question for a question because I felt he was maybe fronting. He was like trying to.
Oh,
That was a tricky question. It was actually kind of a fun question too, because it's like they are kind of the same thing.
Yeah, it's fun because there's similar parts to it. It's just like reversing valves and compressors. They're very similar ways that they can manifest, but you have to go in there and you measure temperature. You know, there's
Ooh,
sounds that happen.
I know
on
the
one.
answer. Replace the compressor, the reversing valve, and
TXV.
the TXV. Filter dryer. Pull a good vacuum. We're good.
If you can only replace one, the TXV.
No, all of them. I don't do that word.
Well, you just sold a
all
new
of it
unit.
Or nothing. All of it or nothing, man.
White shirt, you just sold a new unit now. They'd be like, all right, just give me the 27 SEER Ultra
Not
500
always,
stage.
honestly, you know what? Because one, maybe you don't trust your salesmen and your installers. It's like, why can't I just make this system work right?
Oh no, I feel the same way. I like
if it's 410A, if it's 410A, it's worth it. If it's R22, maybe not. Or not, you know. I don't really want to do that, but you know, sure, if you want to.
Yeah.
But if it's 410A, air handlers installed well, I don't want to do duct work. It's clean-ish, you know.
Good grief, no. No duct work.
It's not clean.
No, duct work bad. No, I'm just saying. You say you don't want to do duct work. I'm with you. You sold me on that.
Yeah, don't do that when you don't have to.
No ducts. No ducts. No good. I just got off that, and I just did a job with duct work, and I don't do it very often. So I mean, I'm done for this year as far as duct work.
Yeah, I did. I've been doing some installs on Saturdays, and luckily it's minimal, and I have help, so I don't have to do super hard things.
Yeah, that's not too bad. My job wasn't that bad either. Really, it was a nice crawl space. So you know, besides being 40-something, everything was fine.
Do you prefer crawl spaces? If you were to build a house, or if you were to just imagine the perfect house, would it involve a crawl space?
You know, that it has a crawl space is fine with me. As far as the system itself, I did have a house. I installed my air conditioning on this house, and I put it in the attic because I'd rather have it in the attic just because the crawl space is just nasty. Even with the heat difference in the attic. No.
Encapsulate your crawl space. It's what's best for your house anyway.
No, that's an excellent idea.
It's not that expensive. Well, it kind of is. I did it myself, and I didn't realize how expensive it was if I was going to do it myself. But insulation board and decent vapor barrier and tape and all the things, it does get up there. It's kind of expensive.
Well, you're pretty local. I mean, you're younger. I mean, come on over.
Well, you got it? You got it cheap?
If I buy like a couple pieces of insulation board and so a roll of plastic.
Oh, yeah. You want me to do it for you? I got a crew. Up there and do it.
I tell you what, I would not respect myself as a man if I didn't take care of it myself. Especially, in my house, I have to fix everything.
Then. I'm not a contractor or a service tech who just comes and fixes your thing for you. I'm a DIY tutor.
I like
come
that.
And do it with you.
Yeah, I like that. A DIY tutor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stretch it. Nope. Tape it down. Nope. Tape it down. Nope. That's better.
Essentially, I'm getting them to pay me to carry my tools and to do the work.
That's pretty funny.
But hey, it is. But then you can price it cheaper, so it may be a mutually beneficial endeavor.
No, I like it. I really should do my crawl space. I mean, you're right. Maybe it does have plastic. It has the bare minimum. It has the plastic down because some of them down here they don't have plastic. There's water floating down here.
What mill plastic?
You know what? I have no idea. I didn't put it there.
Is it the clear?
It's definitely opaque.
It's probably 6 mil. If it's like the kind of see through it, it's not white or black, is it?
No, it's not white or black. It's like semi-translucent, but it's thick. But I couldn't tell you what mill it is. It's better than a trash bag, but not as good as some of my finer tarps. How's that?
Well, some of the small lower mill stuff ends up like chemically smelling like cat pee after about 10 years.
That explains a lot. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, no, I mean it honestly out here maybe you're slightly different, but I assume you're almost the same as what I am. It's a lot of crawl spaces and they're all nasty, and some of the homes aren't that great either.
Oh yeah, that's accurate.
Crawl spaces are a source of nasty, so honestly you got to fix it, but a $5,000 installation dehumidifier doesn't even necessarily fix it. You got to do the whole encapsulation, and that's really almost the only way.
Yeah, can't argue with it. You're right.
Actually, I have a file I saved from the Building Science Corporation. They did like a paper on crawl space humidity control, and there were 6 options, and one of them was close it off and dehumidifier.
Mm-hmm.
All the other 4 or 5 was different combinations of return supply going into the crawl space, and a lot of them wanted you to have a grill just through the floor.
Yeah.
Just to balance air.
I've seen it. I've actually been on a house where we were made to do that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was that they had a supply and return going through the floor, and the same thing was in the attic because it was spray foamed, and they had the same thing, a mild conditioning to the attic. Not, of course, not 72 up there, but a mild conditioning.
Yeah.
It worked good. It seemed to work really well.
Yeah, when you put thought into things, they work well.
Engineers
don't want to put in
I love
too much thought into things.
Yeah, I like to put just a somewhat. I mean, like a level where people go, "Hey, that guy knows what he's doing," then stop right there.
Yeah. Well, you give them the 3 options. Here's the good, better, best, and then you just push them towards better and not best. It's like, no, you don't want best. Just better is like where it works out best for me and you, and it's it's pretty good. It passes.
Yeah. That's my sales technique right there. Good, better, best. My good is just horrible, so no one chooses it. It's like all right, like the good is all right. We're gonna take this window you have, we're gonna put it up, and we're gonna put a General Electric 12,000 BTU through the wall mini split package unit, window air conditioner, and we're gonna put it in there, and it's gonna cool the central part of your house well, and then the other parts not as well. And that's where I do the good, and people are like, what else do you have? And I said, then I'm going to do a 20 SEER inverter system. And they said, okay, I'll do that one. So that's my sales technique.
Best as we rebuild your entire house.
Yeah, the last one is, I just knock your crap down, and I put up a whole different house. We build it in modules. I have Bill Spone here to tell me how to glue the modules together, and then that's where you live forever.
How much you charge for that one?
I mean, you can't put a number on that. I mean, you got to go as you go. Each module.
How can they buy it if they don't put a number on it? I see your logic now.
I mean, first of all, I get to their house, I see what kind of car they have, then I decide how I'm gonna go about this. That's how it works. That's that code. Yep.
I think you can tell the person's not about. Everyone always talks about if they have a good car in the driveway, they probably are going to buy it on credit. If they don't have a good car, they very well could just be money rich. But I feel like you can tell within the first few interactions, because customers tend at least I don't know. No, I've only been in 2 places in my life, but they come at you with like that money guilt from the beginning.
This is true.
Then the other ones are just like, no, get it done. They kind of encourage you, and they're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like Brian Orr. He talks about how he is the kind of guy who just says yes to everything. So you're just like, we should do this. Yes. We should do this. Yeah. All the things.
Those are good. Those are great ideas, man. You're so smart. Thank you for choosing me. Yeah. It's good. Brian's so good at that. It's with a Y. Brian.
I've had customers leave me a check and they were just like, I don't care. Just fix it.
Yeah, I've had a couple people like that. You usually tell the guy, he comes up and is like, where's your proposal? I handed the proposal. So just read over, sign at the bottom. He just signs and hands it back to me. So you didn't read anything. So it's fine. I saw the number at the bottom. It's fine.
Right.
Okay. You want to go ahead and get a check now? Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
No. It's like and I do it because with repairs, I don't know, people live in different places, but a couple $1,000s is a significant repair to some people, and I show up and they're just like, hey, it doesn't work, and then I'm like, okay, I've figured it out, and it's going to be $3,500, and they're like, holy crap. But other people they're like, I need half now. That's all I need right now, and we'll go get this ball rolling. And they're like, nope, here's the full check.
Okay. You'll never see me again. I mean, I'm just kidding. I'll be right back.
Yeah. When I always have worked for companies, and this one in Eastern North Carolina is not very big, but comparatively to what's out here, we're big. So I would just tell people, it's not worth a reputation to not come back, even if it's $3,500.
It really isn't. It's even. I should stop telling that joke because it's just not even feasible that that's a good idea in any way.
Well, when you're a single guy, no, it is a good joke. When you're one man in a truck, it is a way to make money.
Yeah, the ricochet method.
Not a right way, but
never coming back to this neighborhood again. Never come back to that guy's family. This whole neighborhood. Word travels fast for the one-man show. Yeah, you don't want
Out
that.
here, there was a story of a tech who worked for one of the other big companies who like poached all of his customers. You know, he was a service tech, so all of the customers, he poached all of them. But then he was still working for the company, and he would take like broken part, not necessarily, maybe not broken parts. He would just take parts from people's systems and then install them on other people's systems, and then he just disappeared. Once everyone found out, and it was in the paper and everything.
Yeah, that's awful. That's just an awful thing to do to people. Well, you know what? Yeah. I've got to play some skilled trade up, but I want to ask you one of the skilled trade up questions. I have these new questions I had at the beginning. I don't know if you saw the last show, but we had a bunch of crash and burn during the skilled trade up.
Yep.
It was like one of the NASCAR wrecks. Like the one
I watched it after the fact.
Okay, so you saw it. It's like it's a pretty bad wreck. It's like the one Lightning McQueen was in with the yeah. So
was that a Disney Cars reference?
It was. In fact, I thought it was an excellent movie. I think it was a documentary about NASCAR. Just put in animation. The same thing in Days of Thunder. It was a very similar story.
That's awesome.
But I created a level called the Gimme Question, which is so easy that you cannot fail that question at all. And I want to show you an example of it, give you one that you can answer before you have to go.
Do I win something if I answer it correctly?
I mean, we just win from this conversation just with knowledge, right?
Thermostat screwdriver?
You know what? If you get this correct, I will send you something. That's all I can say, but you will receive something. So you have to give me your address if you get this correct.
Okay.
All right. Here's the first gimme question that I have. All right. Which of the following is used by HVAC installers to cut metal? A small baby bird. B, snips. C, fingers. D, your ladder.
Was B snips?
It was in fact snips.
Well, then I'm going to do a write-in. That's aviation snips. Isn't that the correct?
I mean, judging from the other answers, I mean, is the aviation really necessary?
I don't know, because we're not doing aviation. So yeah, screw the aviation, guys.
So is your answer is a small baby bird then?
No, it's B, snips.
Yes, you are in fact correct. It is snips. So send me your address. I will send you something.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep, you are a winner, and I'm about to play some skill trade up. So winner,
all right, let's let someone else talk.
Yeah, man. We'll see if we get some crashing and burning this time.
Let's do it.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Yep, bye.
Later. Our buddy Nate calls, and my wife's texting me. My wife, if you're watching, yes, I will give Carter a ride to Raiders in the morning. My daughter has to be there at 6 a.m., and her friend needs a ride. So why not wake up a little bit even earlier and give him a ride? Okay. Yeah. If you ever try to use a small baby bird to cut metal, it really just kills the baby bird and mutilates them. So I suggest not doing that because it will be gruesome. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to play some skilled trade up. If someone wants to play, you answer questions. They're not all going to be like that one. They're going to get harder and harder, but you will have an opportunity to win something. And if you do want to win something, answer the easy question and say, I'm done. You can do that. That's fine. Brandon says, I was going to call. I actually have HVAC stuff to talk about. All right, Brandon, if it's, let's say we could do you've got 5-10 minutes or something, Brandon, we could do that. Go ahead and call in, man. Go ahead and call in. We can, we'll put off the skill trade up for a few more minutes, and then you guys can kind of think about it, how you want to win. Because we got some prizes over here. We got power tools. We got Milwaukee Shockwave bits. We have all sorts of stuff, some Klein tools. So just think about it. I'll put a link in the chat whenever it's time to play. The first person to click and come on is good to go. Nathaniel, you're good, man. We had a good conversation. Don't worry about taking too much time. You didn't take all that much time. We've had longer conversations than that on this show. Are you kidding me? Good grief. Hello, you're on the air.
How's it going? Can you actually hear me? My phone's been acting up, so I have to use it on speakerphone.
I actually hear you pretty clear. So, I mean, never use it off of speakerphone again.
Well, I mean, that's how it's been for the last week and a half since I dropped it in a drain pan of gear oil.
That's what happens. Hey, but that's all right, man. That's okay.
Yeah. So what was I going to tell? First of all, Durastar is a ream.
Oh,
Bad for Ferguson.
Oh, okay. So it's actually pretty good then.
Okay. Yeah, I put a 2-stage ream in for my cousin yesterday, and a 13 SEER air conditioner.
Oh, 13 SEER, man. I like the sound of that.
Hey, in Wisconsin, our cooling season is so short that it doesn't pay to spend money on cooling.
Hey, I'm with you. I like that idea of 13 SEER. But that's not what you were going to tell me, though, was it?
Oh, no. I mean, I did that, and then what was the other thing? I was going to tell you about the Durastar thing, and then I was going to tell you, on my way home, I had to stop at my dad's and pick up my camper, and he said, well, after I shut my wood boiler off, my water heater hasn't been working very good. So I had to look at his water heater.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, look, there's water pouring out of the bottom. Not pouring, but you can see water dripping out of the bottom element of the electric water heater.
Not good. Yeah.
There's with a weld where the top element was leaking, so the water heater shot. And he never noticed it before, that because he was using the wood boiler, and the wood boiler heats the hot water, so he shut his wood boiler off.
Oh,
and then he turned the electric water heater on, and spiraled from there.
It's been was it like a big rusty mess now? It's been leaking forever.
Yeah, it's probably been leaking all winter long. Leaked enough to burn the bottom element out with the water.
Oh my gosh! So I guess
like I say, he didn't know because the wood boiler was heating it.
Well, back to the wood boiler, I guess.
Well, I mean, he's cheap, so he'll probably run it with the top element until he gets a new one. It's under warranty. It's only 5 years old.
Oh man, is that ream too?
No, it's a Richmond.
I don't even know what that is.
Richmond. Well, it's a ream. It's exactly the same as ream with a different sticker on it.
Oh, so you only are involved with stuff that's ream, but not actually badged with ream.
No, Richmond is the brand that you get from Menards. Menards is they don't have Menards around by you.
No, I know what it is, but yeah, I don't have any.
Yeah, he actually lives in his hometown is the city I work in, Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Oh, he is the 81st richest person in the world, John Menard.
81st? Is that what you said? 81st?
Yep.
Oh, that's pretty good in the world. I mean, that might be. Was that a billionaire?
No, he's a billionaire. I think he's got like a couple hundred, Menard stores.
Oh man, I like that, man. You need to, get close to that guy. Work on his wood boiler.
Well, he won't work on it. I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a wood boiler. He actually, his wife. I went to school. His wife's son was in the same grade as me, so his stepson.
Do you shop at Menards?
Well, I was gonna go there today, and my wife didn't feel like it. But yeah, we shop there a lot.
So is it like Home Depot or what?
Any other home improvement stores in Eau Claire?
Well, I was just wondering, is it like Home Depot? Because I've seen the Menards, like circulars and stuff. Some of the people I've visited have Menards, and I see the circulars and they have like some tools I never heard of in there, like these green power tools and stuff I never heard of.
Yep, the Master Force.
Master Force. Sounds like a space troop.
Master Force reminds me of Skill. It's like a mid-grade tool.
Oh, I want to buy one just to see. I mean, I want to know what a Master Force can do. I mean, it sounds like
they're not bad. They're good. They're like a good homeowner brand.
Oh man, I got some Ryobi here. Is it like that?
Yeah, it's like probably the equivalent of Ryobi.
Nice, my favorite.
But they got crappy tools. Menards is way cheaper than Home Depot on like pretty much everything, but their tool selection is awful.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was all that stellar. I saw Skill and I saw those, and I didn't see much else.
We have Bosch. Bosch is the high brand from them.
Oh, that's nice.
The good brand.
Yeah, Bosch
used to have Makita, but they don't have Makita anymore.
Oh man, that would have been nice. I really like Makita. Got to go to Home Depot. No one has that but Home Depot, evidently, because
closest Home Depot to me is 75 miles. They say John Menard won't let a Home Depot in Eau Claire because that's his hometown, and he won't let it. He employs 4,000 or 5,000 people in Eau Claire, so they kind of let him do what he wants.
Oh man, you got any Lowe's?
Nope, that's even farther away. Lowe's, the closest Lowe's is probably 100 miles. I'd have to go into the Twin Cities, Minneapolis area to go to a Lowe's.
Oh man, hey, we're doing that. Okay. Yeah, that's no good, man. So Menards. Well, I'm gonna go buy a Master Force drill. I just got to drive, but next time, because I went up there where Curtis Bowers lives, which I don't know if you know who that is or not. He's been on the show a couple of times, but he has Menards up there. It's in Virginia. Now I can't remember the name of the town. Stupid, where Virginia Tech is at. Blacksburg.
I didn't know they were that far east. I thought they were just in the Midwest.
No, he's up in Blacksburg, Virginia, where Virginia Tech is at. So it's only like 5 hours from where I am, and you're like 25 hours from where I'm at.
I'm pretty far. Yeah.
Yeah, you're real far. My wife had family in Wisconsin, and they would drive up there, and it would take like a day's worth of driving to get there.
Yeah, it's quite the drive.
Yeah, I suggest air travel.
Well, yeah, it'd be better than driving. Well, I know everything sucks now with the gas, but
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go up there now. Dude, I went by the place today. It was like in the middle of nowhere, so they could charge whatever they wanted. It was like $4.59 here, which is usually cheaper here than most other places.
yeah, around here it's anywhere between $4.18 and $4.27. I've seen.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna drive up there and get some gas. Wait, that'll defeat the purpose. Oh, so
yeah, I was telling you, I went on 2 boiler service calls here because you like boilers.
boiler. Yeah, I
So,
gotcha.
I mean, we don't talk like that around here. We got the Wisconsin accent.
I can't do that one. Oi, I don't know. It's like Canadian. It ends up Canadian when I try to do that one.
Oh,
Whoop.
you say oh. Yep.
What? I don't even know what that is.
Midwest. This is what's a thing you say. Like if you bump into somebody accidentally, you're like, oh, or you forget something, you're like, oh.
All right, well, I can do that.
Yep.
OPE.
Anyway,
outdoor power equipment.
2 of them.
Okay.
2 of them in the last couple weeks, and they were both the same problem. It was a
It's gonna be like a quiz.
trap.
It's gonna be like a quiz or something. What was that problem?
Yeah, it was a clog condensate trap.
Oh, condensate trap.
Yeah,
Oh man, that's not exciting. Come on.
I know it wasn't.
It was on fire. Next time, have it be on fire. The boiler was on fire to put it out
and
with
the
one of
third
the
one,
children.
I had a third Navian call that I went to, and that one was the freaking flame sensor and the igniter are the same piece. Somehow it got so hot in there that it like warped the 2 igniter electrodes so far apart that they couldn't spark. I've never seen that on a Navian. It like warped them so bad they couldn't arc together.
How hot does something have to be to warp the igniter?
I called Navian tech support that day too, and they had no answer for me. They're like, we'll just send you a new one. Well, yeah, but this is the second. This is the second one that has done this, and they had no answers for me.
That's insane.
It was the second time on that particular boiler that it did that to me.
So it says it's a spark, but it has a built-in sensor.
It's 3 electrodes. They got the 2 electrodes for the sparker, and then there's another one right next to it for the flame sensor.
I gotcha. Okay.
And it's all one piece. It's just 2 screws it pulls out. But the 2 that were, they all got so hot. All 3 of them were so hot they were all like warped and bent.
So, out of curiosity, what percentage of the ones like this do you work on, like high efficiency compared to like the old style water heaters and things like that?
Oh, like for boilers and stuff?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess I was imagining. So you're talking about boilers. You're not talking about like these little water heaters, like these on the wall water heaters that are on demand.
I mean, we do a lot of tankless water heaters too, but they're very similar.
So do you see mostly tankless water heaters up there, or do you have just the regular old metal cylinders?
Most of them are just 40, 50 gallon tank water heaters.
Yeah.
Gravity vent, power vent, or electric.
Nice. I feel better now.
No,
I don't know why.
Heck, I got an electric water heater in my house.
I mean, a lot of people have electric water. I don't see that as like the air conditioning I see, because it's, you don't want a heat pump in the middle of Canada. I gotcha. But I mean, the water heater, a lot of times that's inside. So does it really matter if it's electric or gas?
Well, I mean, a lot of people that don't vent their gravity vent water heaters properly, it probably matters. When you can see the little plastic things where the pipes go in and they're all like melted and stuff, it's been backdrafting.
Yeah, definitely not good.
Quite common in Wisconsin.
It's common to have backdrafting water heaters. Yeah.
Well, what happens is because they have a 6 or a 7 inch, B vent, or they're using a concrete chimney, and they're venting the water heater in 3 inch into the chimney because they removed the old old standing pilot gas furnace that was in there.
Yeah.
And so now the chimney is way oversized and it can't vent properly because it can't warm up the air enough. Because nobody ever dropped a liner down the chimney. When you take the furnace out with a 7 inch vent, you got to be dropping down a new liner, because otherwise you're not going to get that stack effect. You're not going to
have the buoyancy. I think that's the word.
Exactly. And then we see that all the time where they just tie it into the existing old B vent in a house from the 70s, or they tie it into the concrete chimney, and then it's all melted because you can see how it's been backdrafting because
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's really common.
Just floats right back down. Doesn't make it out the top.
Yep.
And that's where you get all that rotted pipe too, right?
Yeah. And you tell them that stuff, and they're like, yeah, whatever.
Just put a new pipe on it. It's fine. Everybody's going to
Yeah.
be from Northeast during
They say,
my
"Oh."
impressions. Whoop! Put another pipe on it. It turns back to the Northeast for me. Sorry, I can't do it. Oh gosh. Oh gosh, buddy. Oh gosh, or something.
You know,
Way to go,
Not
Packers.
quite.
Twins.
well, my stepmom really talks like that.
with the Boston or the like you guys?
The Midwest accent.
Oh gosh.
And I don't really ever think I have an accent, and then I listen to myself talking on your show here, and I can't really believe how much of an accent I actually have.
Well, maybe it's just because it's like adjacent to a Southern accent, and it looks even more like each of them get more and more severe because they're right next to each other. That's the problem.
That's probably true.
Need a nice plain person. You know how actors learn how to have no accent? That's what we need. That's what we have to have.
Yeah. Well, they say people in the Midwest have the least accent out of anyone in the world, but
Yeah, I mean it seems like it's not as bad as like I've said. We got some Southerners here, like my buddy Chuck, who's on YouTube. He's got the Southernest drawl of anyone I've ever heard, and it's like the words come out as like molasses or syrup or something like that. Man, that sounds like an awesome superpower. Well, all right, Brandon, we're going to play Skill Trade Up, man, because it's 10 o'clock. And like my story was telling earlier, I got to wake up at the butt crack of dawn to take some children.
Well, good news. I'll be able to play Skill Trade Up in fall because we're getting fiber in September.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad. I look forward to that. That'll be fun. Get that fiber.
All right.
Dude. All right, man.
Yep. Talk to you later.
Later, buddy. Bye.
Bye.
Talk to you later. Later. I can't do it. It's always wrong. I don't know. So, all right, guys. So we're going to play some Skill Trade Up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a link in the chat, and that's going to be for the Skill Trade Up if you want to play. I mean, if you like playing the Skill Trade Up and you enjoy having free tools just for knowing things, I mean, you can click that link. If you're at all intimidated to come on the show, please don't be. There's nothing to be intimidated by. I feel stupid just saying this out loud. Just come on and have a good time. We'll have a little conversation. We'll have some fun. You'll get some free tools. You know, it's a win-win situation. We're going to play, hopefully, anybody can play, Nathaniel. As long as you haven't won in the last few episodes, feel free to play. Click on the link. Don't call in. You have to click the video link and come on the show. So you have to have video, but you can use your phone. So you're good to go. So I'll get that link ready. I'm going to play the little Skill Trade Up 2-minute wait so I can get everything ready. And then on the flip side, actually, I got to play the sponsor thing too. Play the sponsor thing, then the Skill Trade Up wait. Then we'll play. So I'm going to get after it, guys, and I'll see you in just a moment as soon as I can find my buttons here. And it'll probably be easier just to hit the buttons down here, guys. So I'll see you in just a few minutes. Company Cam is the only app every contractor needs. Document your jobs, communicate with your crews, cover your company's butt. Every photo and video taken with Company Cam is always attached to a project, geotagged, date and time stamped, and user attributed. With Company Cam, you can impress your customers by showing them real-time progress, give them a full scope of your work, and show the proof at the times when you need to. Company Cam is also compatible with many, many different integrations, including apps like Jobber and House Call Pro. You can try Company Cam for free for 14 days, so head over to companycam.com to learn more. Our sponsor, NAVAC, is running a promotion from May the 1st all the way till September 30th of this year. And when you purchase a qualifying vacuum pump, you get 2 free products. You choose 2 out of the following 3. The NHB1 3/8 inch to 1/4 inch evacuation hose, the NHB2, the 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch evacuation hose, or the NVR1 core remover. So there's 2 really nice free items every time you get one of the qualifying vacuum pumps. You can find out more at NAVAC Global, and you can purchase these things at TruTechTools.com, but use our Shop Talk discount code if you purchase from TruTech to save 8%. Workwithyourhands.com is a web page that hooks up people looking for jobs with great trade jobs. On the screen right now, I just have a few of the positions available in Durham, North Carolina. Service technicians, HVAC installers, there's some plumbing stuff, electrical stuff. Pretty much all the different skilled trades. Jobs are open all across the nation, and there's no reason not to take a look if you're looking to make a move. It's workwithyourhands.com, and you can find links in the description of this video to your next job. This program is brought to you by Yellow Jacket, and this is the Yellow Jacket Wireless Refrigerant Charging Scale, part number 68864. Has a 220-pound capacity, a large platform. It's easy to carry, has a handle built in. I've been using this one for a while. Bluetooth connection. There's no screens on it. You just turn it on. It links up to your phone, and you can watch it from the YJack View app. A really nice and very durable scale. This is the 68864 wireless refrigerant charging scale from Yellow Jacket. All right, we are back here to play Skilled Trade Up, and I do see we had a few people show up, so we're going to take the first person. We're only going to play one tonight, so sorry to the other two who showed up. And I will remind you, if you are here and you don't have an operable camera, you have to have an operable camera to play this game. So without further ado, here is Nate. Nate is, well, frankly, he's naked, and this is scary. He's got a blue on hat, too. Nate, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, so let me see. I'm gonna get your levels correct here. So, how's it going?
About men. Men don't wear shirts.
That's true. I did. There were several jobs that I was on that I didn't wear a shirt, and then I insulated one time without a shirt, and then I started wearing it. Yeah. So, you already answered a question, right? So, congratulations there.
Whoop.
That doesn't count, however. Sorry, you have to start over anyway, so you get another gimme question. All right. So with the gimme question, you realize that they're going to be extremely difficult, and you could possibly win this very nice Appian water bottle right here, or whatever you're going to put in there.
Cold?
It does. It keeps things very cold. For those of you who want to see up close, here we are. That's the water bottle right there. It's like nobody wants to see that up close. It's a water bottle. But you could win it. But you have to answer this next question right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're not going to turn the chat off yet because you're not going to need any help for this, frankly.
I can't even see the chat.
Can't see. Hey, that's even.
If I leave
perfect.
if I leave this website, I'm going to be off.
That's correct. Do not leave the website or you lose everything.
I don't know.
Including your dignity, because you would have run away from the show before it started.
I have none.
It's like, joke's on you, pal. I don't have dignity. You rascal. Okay, so if you get the right answer, you're going to hear this.
Sir, yes, sir.
You may not be able to hear that, actually. I don't know if you can or not. Probably can't, because the show is still in its infancy here. But you guys at home will hear that. But let's just get after it. Let's just get you a question answer. A nice gimme question. Here you go. Will you get it right? Let's find out. Here's your gimme question. One of my favorites. What do homeowners call every refrigerant? A, 1234YF. B, Freon. C, Frosty Juice. D, Supco 88. What do you say?
I really wish it was C. Like, I wish that's what they said. But
Yeah.
it's B.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
And you're right on the money. That's the exact right answer. So
Can we
you got
get
that correct.
Frosty Juice going? You know, like fetch or something?
You can get Frosty Juice as a hashtag if you would like.
I don't
We'll do
know what that is.
It's a number sign next to a word. Young people say that's how you do things now. They
Yeah, I
hashtag
use that for tic-tac-toe.
You go like this.
Eh.
Yeah. I also think of it the same way. But now we have to move into the actual questions.
All right.
The actual questions are slightly more difficult each step you take. I am going to turn off the chat so the chat can't help. I'm going to do that right now. And you'll be back, chat, after the game is over. Sorry. But it'll be all right. All right, so it's a lovely fan you have there. Lovely fan. It's spinning very nicely. Oh, my gosh. And it's back to the Chippendales. And we're going to go to the next question, which I wrote down as easy here. So let's see if you will agree with it. And you could potentially win. Let's see if you could win a cup before. We're going to step it up this time, and we'll go to, let's do some insulated screwdrivers from our friends at Klein.
Not something I would need for myself, but something I would use.
You know what? You can sell them to someone who does need them. You can put them on eBay with some of our other prizes. And,
No, I'd
fun.
use them. I'd use them for sure. I just wouldn't buy them for myself.
Oh, that's perfect then. All right, let's win these things. Here we go. Here's your second question. Let's get you some screwdrivers. And here we go. Which of the following will cause a compressor to stop running? A, low pressure switch opening. B, contactor failure. C, run capacitor failure. D, all of the above.
I'm sad there's no joke in this question, but I'm going to go with D, all of the above.
And you know what? You are exactly right. It's D, all the above. You got yourself some insulated screwdrivers, and you're doing fantastic. You're doing great. So let me tempt you to go farther. So here, I'll do this. If you want to trade up and go to the next question, I will give you both the 7-in-1 Klein Tools nut driver and a nice Walmart brazing mirror.
7-in-1 nut driver?
Yep, that's right. It's a 7-in-1 nut driver. It reverses like 50 different ways. You ever seen Iron Man?
Yeah, no, I do know that tool. Because I'm considering not doing it because the other one's good. That is a tool, again, would never buy for myself. I think it's a little silly because it's big, but definitely useful. So I'm going to go for it.
All right, let's go for it here. We're gonna do it. We're gonna trade up to the next level. We're gonna go to a little bit harder
broken,
questions.
So it's been broken for like since I bought it. So
well, that's called destiny, my friend. Yeah. That's what that is. So, third question. Once I read it, there will be a 15-second timer on this one because they're getting more difficult. And I don't want you to run off and start Googling stuff. You'd never do that. But just in case you would do that, I have a timer on here.
I have to figure out how, actually.
We don't have enough time to figure it out.
Stuck on a screen, you know.
Well, that's perfect then. All right, that'll be great. So there's a timer built into this game for you.
My hand is one's holding the phone.
Oh, good. Okay. Well, one's holding the phone. That's. Thank you for saying that. So we're gonna get you your third question here. It's medium, and here it is. R32, R22, and R134A are refrigerants. A, that are mildly flammable. B, that operate at similar pressures. C, that are single component refrigerants. D, that are HFCs. And you have 15 seconds.
That's a good question. Not something 10. I necessarily know, but I'm just going to go with C, that are single component refrigerants.
So as time runs out here, is C the correct answer? Single component refrigerants? Seems like a good guess. And that's exactly right. That is the right answer. single component refrigerants. Only one of those is mildly flammable, and none of them operate at a similar pressure, and only 2 of them are HFC. So that is a
I
very
knew
good
that.
answer.
I knew that. And the HFC is the one I probably would have gotten wrong, which is probably the worst
Well,
thing to think it is, because you should know that if you have an EPA.
Yeah, it's one of those things though. You see a bunch of R's and numbers and stuff like that, and stuff starts to look really similar. So it's understandable that they get mixed up. But yeah, you're exactly right. 2 of them are HFCs and one of them is HCFC. So that would be your R22.
Oh, duh.
Hey, see, it all
R22, right?
Yeah, it doesn't help that you have HCFC, HFC, CFC, and HFO. Who could confuse all those, right?
Well, if you remember your chemistry, I just love saying hydrochlorofluorocarbon. It's the best. It's a really good word. Will you say that on air?
Hydrofluorochlorofluorocarbon.
That's
right?
Not quite it, but close.
I do believe that was exactly right. Let me say that again.
You added boron. This is a whole new chemical. It could explode.
Well,
boron. I don't know if boron explodes, but do you? Are you willing to take that chance?
I think francium explodes if you drop it in water.
Nah, francium just goes off and has a cigarette.
Francium. Yes, indeed. So in that spirit, in no way does that actually even play out, but you got those right. So you won that stuff. You have your mirror, you have your 7-in-1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to tempt you to go again. All right. Mm-hmm. So this next question will be the final question. I'm going to tempt you with what I think you might want. So since I know you want this more than likely, I'll tempt you with this and also the Milwaukee Shockwave bits, those 2. So, which are nice. They're impact rated and they're pretty good.
Yep, so, I'll go for that. I'll go for that.
So you have the 3 nut drive. We have 2 nut drivers there. You have a socket and then all of the different impact rated bits. So it's a good one. And you know what? We'll throw in the mirror too if you get it right.
All right. Okay. I will take you up on that offer.
All right. So there's 3 items there. We're going to trade up, which is awesome. We always love that. And we're going to see if you get the final question right. This is going to be hard. So just a warning.
I only have a small scope of knowledge.
This might be right in your purview then. We're going to see where it falls. Let's look at my questions here that are possible hard questions. I have 3 questions. All right, I have 3 hard questions here. And I'll let you choose.
That's 2 out of 3?
Oh, no, you only get 1. But it could be a sensor question. It could be a question, or the other 2 questions are brand related. So would you rather have a brand question or sensor question?
I want a sensor question.
All right. This is an interesting one, so let's see how you do. Here's your hard question for all that stuff. Which of the following sensors is used to measure dew point? A, thermistor. B, magnetic meter. C, pitot tube. Pitot tube? D, chilled mirror hygrometer. You have 15 seconds.
I feel magnetic meter could be one, but hygrometer has the word hygro in it, which means water.
5 seconds. 3, 2, gotta say something.
D is my final answer.
You said D right before the timer went off. Okay, you said D, but the question is it the right answer? That's a tough one right there. So you thought it might be magnetic meter.
Yep.
Truth is, I made up magnetic meter. It's not even a real thing. And the answer is
one.
Yeah, I know it sounded a lot like the other ones, but it actually is D, chilled mirror hygrometer. You're exactly right. So you win all that stuff. Hey, man, that was awesome.
Yeah, I'm glad I went through.
Yeah, look at that. You won the whole kit and caboodle, as they say.
In the spirit of isn't Brian's brother named Nate too?
His name is Nathan. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I don't have a shirt on.
That's very similar. Yes, you're right. There's a lot of parallels appearing here.
Yep.
That's weird. Yeah, that's right. At least you're not in a bathtub naked.
So next time you see him, give him a sticker for me.
All right, I will send. If I might actually have his address. I'll just send him a sticker and say, "This is from Nathan," and that's all it's going to say. And then he'll be like, "What is going on?" And I'll put some flour in the envelope too, just to give it like a little bit of an extra flair. Like he's like, "Is this anthrax or not?" I don't know. That's back from, I don't know how. See, you're 30 something, right?
I'm exactly 30.
You're exactly 30. So anthrax was a big deal right after 9/11. People were receiving the
I
letters and
remember
stuff.
anthrax. I was a kid, but I remember.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the band, of course,
I was
Anthrax.
probably in grade school at the time. So it was when it was our version of hiding under chairs.
Oh, right. Like the Cuban Missile Crisis for the new age.
Yeah. So we just had to sniff our mail, or I forget what we did with our mail, but you had to be scared of mail. That's all I remember.
Yeah. Mail was scary. That's it. Scary mail. So you want a lot of stuff. Don't forget, give me your address. You can text it to me. You can do whichever way you want to do, email, text, whatever, but text probably easiest. And I'll send out your prizes.
I will do that.
Very nice, man. All right. Well, I'm going to get out of here and get ready for bed. And congratulations. And thanks for the call, too.
Yep.
All right, man. Take it easy, Nate. That's old Nate right there with the big win. The chat is back up and going here for a few minutes, guys. I'm going to bring it up on my screen so I can see. Let's see. I got to bring everything up here on my screen again. Working off 2 monitors, and a lot of times I would have 3, but I don't have 3 anymore. All right, guys. So if there's anything else you want to ask me, any clarifications on anything, coolant. Yeah, coolant would have been good too. They do call it coolant as well. Freon coolant. Justice for all, man. I hate to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that, man. Well, our thoughts and prayers will go out to you on that one. Justice for all says he lost his wife yesterday, and that is a horrible, horrible thing, and that is a very fresh wound. So I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully that she is off somewhere in a much better place now than she was here, which, judging from being in this chat and who I think you are based on my memory, I think she likely is, and we can all be thankful for that. I lost my sister last year, and it's very difficult when you lose somebody that close to you, and you just have to just rest easy, do everything you can. My sister died from pneumonia from having COVID-19, and whenever I went to see her in the hospital, she was unconscious. I just did my best to, read to her. Believe it or not, at that time, Justin Beaver and I were doing our Bible studies every week, and we still talk, but we haven't been able to do a Bible study here lately. And I went in there and I just read her the subject for that week because we didn't get a chance to do it. And I did feel at peace, like she was off into a better place. So I wish that for you, and I hope you have that peace as well. I know that's what comes with time with a wife that's very close, and I'm sorry to hear it, but I hope you do get some peace on it, knowing she's in a better place. Guys, on that note, very sad thing, but potentially one of those things where it's very, very sad for us because we're back, we're behind, we're on the earth, we're without the people we love, but they are potentially and most likely in this case. I don't know Will. I know something about him, so I'm gonna reach out on a limb there and say that she's in a better place than we are, and one day hopefully we can join her. That's all I'm gonna say, and I hope that that is the case. Guys, thank you for watching Shop Talk tonight. Again, if you want to help support the show, you can do so by leaving a thumbs up. If you're listening to this as a podcast, you can leave a podcast review. That works really, really well, and that helps us immensely, just taking a little bit of time and leaving a review. And if you want to help support the show, help me get the tools for Skilled Trade Up, you can become a channel member on YouTube. You see a join button down there. You hit that button and you could join us and help get the stuff for the show, get the prizes, and just get, the stuff the show needs to survive. And I really appreciate that. And that helps us a lot. You can do the same thing on Subscribestar. It's just a different version of the same thing for people that don't want to be YouTube members, because YouTube does take 40% of what you donate to the show for themselves, and Subscribestar does not. But then again, Subscribestar is off-site, and some people are hesitant about that. I understand that. That's fine. Things you can do that are just the easiest things in the world: watch the videos, like the videos, make sure you're subscribed, and comment on videos. Give me your opinion, because the opinions that you guys give me when you make your phone calls into the show, when you email me, when you go to the Discord, because we have a Discord server, which is basically like a big chat all the time. When you do those things and reach out in that way, that's what molds the subjects of this show. Because this show is really based upon what you guys are experiencing and whatever I can bring out from you in conversation about what you go through as a tech, what you work on, and kind of have our back and forth, because I've been around the bend as a tech. I've been a tech pretty much my whole life. I was a company owner, but even as a company owner, I was more of a tech. I always liked being a tech. I always liked fixing stuff. I always loved tools. And I feel like a lot of us are very similar in that way. So I want to thank you again. I'm going to wrap this up for tonight. And should be a podcast out in the morning, I think, from last week's show. But I digress. Let me get out of here, guys. I will see you on the next one.